What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Onyx Report, Black Masculinist news for the day. Hope you guys are well. Please make sure you contribute, support the channel so we can continue to do what we're doing. So like, share, subscribe, join, and donate. Another difficult one, but I try to read these for a couple of reasons. One, because when it comes to, female child murderers, it's swept under the rug. Meanwhile, men, most particularly black men, seem to somehow remain the face of it in one way, shape, or form. But that's, I think, because black men are generically the face of, being monsters or whatever. But the other reason I report these stories is because I think, with the increased pressure from the COVID economy, these kind of things are going to happen more and more. And they are. People are breaking from the pressure. People are dealing with issues around this. And some of them are just ridiculously sad. So this is a piece that, let me bring on the screen here. This is a piece you can find on amp.www.complex.com, right? This is entitled, "It Was a Necessary Sacrifice." Said mom accused of killing 5-year-old daughter by locking her in a hot room. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, new details are emerging about the case of a mother who's suspected of killing her 5-year-old child by locking her up in a hot bedroom. This is dated July 8th, just so you know. Last Thursday, 23-year-old Kamaya Taylor of Las Vegas was charged with murder and 2 counts of child abuse at a hearing she refused to attend. Police say a 5-year-old, as well as her 2-year-old sister, who's since been taken to Child Protective Services, were found locked inside a bedroom in Taylor's sweltering home. Neighbors and a friend also told police that Taylor had been acting oddly shortly before her arrest. Police say that the friend grew concerned when she got a text she interpreted as a vague suicidal threat. That message reportedly included Taylor saying she was quitting her job and to watch out for her on the news. Now, this is the second article I've come across where you have women who have killed children who are talking about wait to see me on the news. I suspect, in an unofficial capacity, I'm just saying, I suspect there's something about attention that's playing into this as well. But anyway, I continue. A request for a welfare check by that friend took place on June 16th. On that date, officers were unable to locate Taylor or her children at their home. Less than 2 weeks later, on June 28th, 2 officers were able to contact Taylor. They reported that the home was in complete disarray and that Taylor was suffering from some sort of mental illness. Taylor was taken into custody and a search led to the discovery of a locked bedroom upstairs. The door was kicked open and the 2 young girls were found. The youngest girl was standing next to the bed while the 5-year-old was on it, unresponsive. An officer unsuccessfully tried to revive the older child using CPR. She was pronounced dead after medical personnel arrived. The report said the house had no air conditioning, but it's not clear if it was disconnected or turned off. The report added that the temperature in the room felt exponentially warmer than the rest of the residents. The home's thermostat reported it was 95 degrees. The temperature in the bedroom hit 101. High temperature outdoors that day was 106. On the backseat of the officer's patrol car, Taylor is alleged to have uttered things like it was a necessary sacrifice while insisting she be taken to the insane asylum. Neighbors say previously they overheard her say, "I killed it. I killed it." And also that she was the son of Jacob. Or she said she was the son of Jacob. Even more alarming behavior came 2 days before she was arrested. At one point, it was claimed that she sat in the driveway in her car with her kids wrapped in blankets when it was hot. She was also seen throwing rocks at vehicles, walking around the neighborhood with a blender and a bat, and breaking the window of a truck with a kitchen appliance. Her family said that she hadn't reached out and very strongly insists they would have helped her if she'd asked for aid. She's expected in court on July 15th. This is, This is why I entitled one of my last videos, Winter is Here. It's not to suggest that it isn't going to get worse, but it is to suggest that it's here. You know, it's here. I've shown a number of other cases, incidents. But, you know, none worse than seeing a child die. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, sad to report, but it's nonetheless, I think, a reflection of the moment. I think as economic conditions become even more unstable, these kind of things will become a bit more common. Y'all know in the last year, I've reported on women leaving babies at gas stations, packing them up in trunks and letting them die. I mean, it's been absolutely ridiculous. And yet somehow, black men in the face. Make it make sense. Well, my condolences to her children. At least one daughter survived. Hopefully she'll be taken care of. And hopefully they'll be able to find her a home. No mention of the father or fathers. I don't know. And that's one of the most consistent factors with these stories as well. And to me, this goes back to what I was discussing the other night when we talked about, the gyno-potestal family structure. Notice in this and some of the other pieces I've reported on, they're contacting family members, right? But often, although they don't clarify that in this particular piece, let me open it up and see if they give us any more detail. Get out of this. What we seem to have are families that are comprised of mainly women, and they're reaching out to each other. This advertisement popped up on the screen, but anyway, they're supporting each other, but they're these satellites of women-led households that are connected through family bloodlines. Rarely having men present. Men are conditional. Men are replaceable. They come in, they impregnate, they contribute. Relationship's over. They're on the hook for child support. But the principal family structure is a series of interconnected satellites of households led by women of varying ages. So mothers, daughters, sisters, grandmothers, all connected and running households. Occasionally one, like the grandmother, if she reaches age, will end up living with one of her daughters. But that's one of the things I tend to notice, right? When we look at this kind of thing, connections and networks of primarily women. Men are not often in positions of high regard in these family structures. So this is what I meant by the gyno-potestal framework. See, here we go. So this is another article on the same issue, but this time they're talking about the family. Remember, I read at the end of the last report, the family said, had they known, that they would have provided aid. Look at this. It says, however, the children's grandmother, Marissa Brown, and aunt, Condra Coleman, both of Sacramento, California, said Thursday outside of court that Taylor's claim about not having a family to help her is false. See what I mean? These are not families that have any noted male presence. Not even in, what's her name? Kamaya? Yeah, Kamaya's family, let alone her extended family. So I'm arguing that in some sense, this has become the evolution of the black family. Right? This gyno-potestal framework of satellite-linked households of women of varying ages. This is the black family. Black men are, expendable, disposable, but useful for sex, recreational sex, reproductive sex, sometimes income, sometimes child support, married or not. Your relationship can end at any moment, and he continues to expend, and that's the end of it. This is, I think, what we're looking at. This is the village structure, right? Where, kind of like what BGS talked about in terms of the village wife, what many of these families want, what many of these women are looking for, is an environment where they can lead their household, have kids, as many as they want, and yet have the community and the state be responsible for their welfare. So it doesn't really have to come down to an individual household. It's a collective kind of responsibility that I think some of these people are pushing for. And in regard to men, we talk about the village husband or the village concuserf. What I mean by that is these disposable men are interchangeable. So you can have stepfather after stepfather and come in and leave. They provide their expertise while there, leave and still be on the hook for child support, even if it isn't their biological child. But she still runs that family unit, that household, and he is conditional and disposable, one after another. And this is what we're looking at. This is, I think, the potential of what some are trying to make a staple in the Black community. Nevertheless, this is where we are. So again, my condolences to little girl. I hate to hear about shit like that. Anyway, y'all be well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Peace.